Thank you everyone for joining us for our first driver influencer interview. We have a dispatch driver here, and he's one of the best in his market. So we wanted to talk to him. He has a channel of his own. So I just wanted to introduce Big CJ. Thanks for coming on to our YouTube platform.
Oh man, thank you. I'm honored to be chosen to be the first, and I'm excited. Thank you.
Yeah, good, good. Well, we love to hear it. And so we're gonna start off with just some like general questions about you. So let's just get your name and where you're based out of, and how long you've been in the gig economy.
So my name is Chris. I go by Big CJ, and I live in the San Antonio, Texas market area. Um, and I've been with the gig economy for about 3 years. I actually started on DoorDash in my car, and I
Mhm.
was doing that kind of as a side hustle to my
Mhm.
regular job, and then eventually I evolved into what I'm doing now
Yeah.
in the cargo van full time.
Yeah. Well, that's a great transition into my next question. So what got you into uh, the cargo van business? What made you go from doing the car deliveries for DoorDash to I want to buy a cargo van and do my business that way?
Yeah, so it's kind of a long story, but I'm gonna make it as short as possible. But I've always been intrigued by the gig economy type work, um, but never was confident enough to do it full time. So it was just more of a side hustle, extra money. Um, Fast forward, I used to live in California. Very hard to live there, very expensive. So I ended up moving to Texas, and the cost of living went down tremendously. And that's when I kind of saw my opportunity to kind of be my own boss and work for myself. And it started with I had a regular delivery job. I worked for two different companies, um, drove a box truck, and I just I was really, I think my last year working with one of the companies I work with, I started noticing a lot of cargo vans, and I really was get frustrated with the working for a company, wanted to be my own boss. And
Mhm.
it started on YouTube. I just started watching YouTube videos, and originally I wanted to drive a big rig, and
Mhm.
then I'm like, nah, I can't. I'm not dealing with that. And then I kind of was looking at box truck videos, and I saw the expenses of it, and it's a little bit higher. And then I kind of started learning about cargo van. I came across, I don't remember the exact channel, but it was a guy doing cargo van loads, and that's when the light went off. And then, of course, from that point on, everywhere I drove, I saw cargo vans everywhere. They were
Mhm.
always there, but I started noticing them then, and that's basically where it started. So. Yeah, just went from there to studying, watching YouTube videos, learning all about it, and finally got to the point where I was able to buy one and get started.
Okay, that's interesting. So, how did you decide what type of cargo van to buy, and what type of cargo van do you have now?
So that was kind of a not tough decision. You do have to be kind of picky about which one. A lot of them have different capabilities, but for me personally, and I can only speak from my perspective, for me, Um, I didn't have a ton of money. The most expensive one would probably be the Mercedes Sprinter van, but I don't have that kind of money, and um, that van is built more for long distance, large loads, kind of OTR type stuff. So I knew that I wasn't interested in that type of work, so I wanted a van that was a little cheaper, but good quality and it can handle pretty much any type of load.
Hmm.
So doing my research, it came down to the Ford Transit. That's what I have, the Ford Transit 250
Hmm.
with the medium roof. Um, High roof is always better, but I got the medium roof, and I pretty much chose that vehicle based on a YouTube video I saw. There was another driver that uses it, and he kind of showed. I saw all the features of it, and I saw the type of loads he was getting, and I'm like, oh, I can handle that. And then I started, of course, comparing prices, and It was a little more affordable for me.
Mhm.
Good reviews, long lasting, and I like the way it looked too. It looks good. It drives like a car, and I just fell in love with it.
Yeah, yeah, that's important. The look
Yeah.
is important. So
Oh yeah. 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 That's pretty much it. Just do your research. That's most important. Do your research before you buy whatever you buy. Do your research on it. Yeah.
okay, so it sounds like you were pretty inspired, watching different YouTube videos about the different stuff within this gig community. So, what made you decide to create a YouTube channel of your own, documenting your cargo van journey?
I learned everything. Like I basically spent an entire year when I was working my job. That last year, that whole year, I was watching YouTube videos and just learning everything about the transportation business, the gig economy, cargo van, box truck, everything. And there was certain information or certain things that I was looking for that some channels just didn't have it. There was some very helpful channels, don't get me wrong. But I was looking for the one, like, I felt like the perfect channel would be someone that like just bought their van and they're going step by step through the process and kind of like, showing everyone.
Hmm.
And I could not find anything like that. So a lot of the videos I watched were more of just, hey, I got this load and I'm driving from here to here and I made this much money. But I don't know how they got that low, who they work for, what's their expense. Like I had so many questions. I just.
Hmm.
So that's what inspired me. I'm like, you know what? I'm about to quit my job and I'm gonna go all in. I'm going full time. And I'm like, you know what? This is a great way to help other people because I knew how much I needed to learn. It's kind of
Hmm.
overwhelming, the amount of information that you have to learn, especially with the all the certifications and the insurance. I mean, it's just so much. It could be overwhelming. So knowing that, I'm like, you know what? I want to document my journey. I want to show everyone from day one, how, my whole process from start to finish, wherever I end up. And
Hmm.
I felt like, I wasn't inspired by money or nothing like that. It was just, I didn't really care how the channel did. I don't care if 5 people watched it. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's going to help somebody. And that's what inspired me to start my channel. I just wanted to tell the honest truth and show what the real expenses look like, what it really looks like to start this business and run it. And good days, bad days, I'm gonna post it all. You know. Um, but yeah, that's really what inspired me. Just showing
Okay.
people the real deal.
Yeah, that's good. That's interesting. Yeah, you saw a void that you wanted for yourself and decided to fill it with what you were looking for, which is kind of how Dispatch started as well. We saw a void in this final mile space and created the Dispatch app to kind of fill that void that was missing. So that we could definitely relate to that. So in one of
Okay,
the
for
videos
sure.
that I watched of yours, you were explaining the business of OTR versus other gig apps. So what has been your experience with the two over the years?
So I've learned through my experience, I do not like OTR. It's not for me. It's a very mentally and physically challenging. It's a lot more expensive overhead. Um, it's just for people that if they may not know what OT, I'm sure most people that watch this channel know what it is, but I mean, it's literally you're on the road. You got to be willing to be on the road for, 10, 12 hours a day, driving, you know, at least over 500 miles a day, away from your family, weeks at a time. You can make good money, but I fortunately was able to try both. I got my authority, I got my MC, my DOT, I got the $1 million policy, which I don't like. So I was paying like $900 a month, and I
Mhm.
hadn't even got a load yet. And then you have to bid on loads, like you have to bid with other drivers trying to get work, and it's no guarantee, and it was a lot of stress. And I just I didn't like it from the start, so I never actually did a load, and I'm actually glad I didn't because my heart wasn't in it.
Mhm.
So. Um, I think really what turned me off the most was the being away from home because I am a family of five. Um, the amount of expenses that it costs to do OTR, the wear and tear on your van. I mean, I know guys that they put 100,000 on their van before the first year. Um,
Uh,
I just didn't like it.
yeah.
So yeah, the gig apps is the perfect fit for me because I could turn the app on and it's ready to go whenever I'm ready to work. There's work. Everything's local, so I mean, I've had days I'm driving less than 100 miles a day, but I'm making the money I need, and very convenient. You just turn your phone on, you accept or decline. Like that's it. You don't have to do anything else. I don't have to bid and all that stuff. Um, it was just it's good money. It can be good money. It's up and down days, but I choose gig apps over OTR for me personally, based on my expenses and you know, my family obligations, basically.
Okay, okay. That's good. That's good information for other drivers to know if they're looking into, OTR versus, what we do in the gig community. So is being in the gig community, I think you kind of answered this question, but is it your main source of income or is it more of a side gig?
That's kind of a tough question because I do have other income. I do get paid. I get military benefits.
Hmm.
My wife also works as well. Um, and then my channel's monetized, and I do have other source of income I haven't shared. But
Hmm.
as far as work itself,
Yeah.
like yes, the gig work, that van is my money maker. That's what I use to make. That's what I focus on, and I treat my van as if I don't have any other income. So I try to go out and make. I have a certain amount of money that I try to make every day, every week, and I use that van to do that. So I do rely on the local gig apps for my main source, but it's not my only source.
Okay.
So that's kind of important for me because a lot of drivers are in different situations. Like for me, I have a stable income outside of my van. Some
Mhm.
drivers don't.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll get to this later, but I do have a recommendation for people that want to do gig work only and they don't have any other source of income. I have advice for you.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that.
All
Looking forward to
right.
hearing. So what would you say to someone, and you kind of did touch on this, but what would you say to someone considering purchasing a van for gig work? What should they consider?
So, well, most importantly, what do you want to do? Like, what type of work do you want to do? Because that's going to determine what type of van you need. So, for OTR, I've learned through experience and from talking to people that do it, the biggest, longest van is best. That's what you need. Which usually is going to be the Mercedes Sprinter van. If you just want to do local gig work and that's it, that's what you're focused on, you do not have to have my van. You don't have to have the biggest van. I've seen the smaller, low roof, 150 cargo vans, the Chevy, the Nissan. I mean, even a minivan, can handle
Mhm.
most of the work that I do. So you may not be able to handle a pallet, but I mean, as far as a cargo van, you can get, you know, a Ford Transit 150 with a low roof, and it can handle pretty much all the same load that I do, and that's just local gig work.
Mhm.
The second thing is what can you afford? Like, definitely don't buy something you can't afford. If you need to finance it, make sure that you have some work lined up and you're gonna be able to make those payments because the gig apps is up and down. There's no guaranteed earnings, and I've seen people that they finance this nice brand new van, but they haven't got any work lined up. And that's definitely a no-no. So yeah, make sure you get something you can afford and you do not have to have a brand new van. You can use, I think most gig apps, I want to say about at least 10 years. The van has to be at least 10 years. Some of them have no age limit, but
Mhm.
um just make sure it runs. If it runs, and it's in decent shape, you can handle the gig work, local gig work.
Yeah. Yeah, and I will say for dispatch, as far as the types of vans that we accept, um, we accept pretty much any type of vehicle as long as it's in safe drivable condition. Like we don't want our drivers showing up in beat up vehicles to our customers. That's not a good look for us. But for the
Right.
most part, most vans work. And I will say, the vans on the smaller side, so like a Chevy Express or like Ford Transit Connect, those in the Dispatch app qualify as mid-size vehicles and not cargo vans on our app. That might be
Yeah.
different from other apps, but they don't necessarily accommodate pallets. Just as you said, they don't accommodate pallets as well as we would like. So we have to
Right.
make them a smaller categorization on our app. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Gotcha. Yep.
So when you're looking for orders, what are the most important factors to you that make the orders worth it?
Honestly, and this is from my perspective. I have to repeat that because everyone has different qualifications when it comes to this. But for me, the first thing I look at is the amount that the pay is. That's the first thing I look at, and then I look at the distance. How far am I driving?
Mhm.
Where am I at right now? How far do I gotta go to pick up? How far to drop off? And then third is what is the item? Like what is it? There are certain things that I'm like, oh, I'm not doing. That's rare, but there
Yeah.
are things I just don't want to do. So yeah, the pay is number one. Number two is the distance, total distance from where I'm at to the pickup to the drop off. How many miles do I need to drive? Is it worth it? And then what is the actual item? Um, that's pretty much it. I'm not really picky when it comes to anything else.
And I think that top three, I think that would be the same across most of our drivers, as they would list it probably in that order as well.
Yeah. All right.
Sure. So
Yep.
you're at the point there. So in general, what are the things that are most important to you as a gig driver, not only on dispatch, but just in general? For example, like some drivers might be, they really care about how this app looks as far as like the functionality of it, or they might like how the customer service on this app is. So
I see what you're saying.
those type of things.
Right. Okay. Got you. Yeah. So yeah, that is yeah, absolutely. The layout of the app. And I'll elaborate more on this later, but Dispatch is among the top as far as like just the layout of the app, how easy it is to use, all the information, all that stuff. That is
Mhm.
very important. Um, me personally, customer service and all that doesn't bother me too much. I mean, really, ultimately, I'm just like, you know what? I just want to get the job done. I don't care too much about like dealing with customer support or all that. I just want to get the job done and get paid.
Yeah.
So I don't really pay attention to that too much. I know some companies have some horrible service, but that's just comes with the territory.
Hmm.
But yeah, most important, yeah, the app got to be easy to use. The pay needs to be on time. Like I shouldn't have to fight for money or all that stuff. That's important to me. Um, and then, I mean, really, that's pretty much it. I'm really not picky when it comes to that type of stuff. The way the app works itself, like how we get orders,
Hmm.
is very important for me. And like I said, I don't know if you want me to elaborate this now. I don't know if you have a question or not about this, but about your app particularly. But I have to say,
Well, you can go ahead and
this
talk about it now.
was that.
You can go ahead and talk about it now, and if we get to
Oh,
it,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's on my mind because I have to say the Dispatch app is different from other apps because you guys have where you send the load directly to a driver that
Hmm.
gives me an opportunity. It gives me like 45 seconds to look at it and accept or decline. Where other apps they just throw it out there and whoever the fastest person to click on it, and they could be 20 miles away, and I'm in the parking lot.
Yep.
I like that. I like how basically everyone kind of gets a chance to get work,
Hmm.
a fair opportunity. And I like how everything is on that first screen. Everything's right there because a lot of the other gig apps, they don't think that, hey, we're driving. I could be on the highway when the order comes out. I need to
Hmm.
see everything on that first screen. And I
Yeah.
like how this it shows the pickup, the drop off, the pay, everything's there. So I don't have to be, fumbling with my phone too long while I'm driving. And yeah, man, that's important. Like I really like that. And that's one of the only apps I know that does that, where it's very limited amount of, clicking and pushing buttons to see what I need to see.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I forgot what the question was. Now I'm over here
No,
trying to
you're
think of
good. You answered my question. That's good to know because we've worked very hard to get those orders to be how you see them now, with all the information, and
yeah,
that's a testament to just driver feedback, like what you just said. The drivers want to see everything, on the main screen so they can quickly look at it, scan it, and determine whether they want to accept or decline. And so yeah, that took a little bit of time to get to, but we are there now. And I
yeah,
will
yeah,
say
I love it.
it's funny that you brought up how some of the other apps work, because that is actually how our app did work for a while when I first started. We
Mhm.
just threw the orders out there and allowed all the drivers to just kind of first come first serve. And so
Right,
it's had some mixed reviews on the current iteration of it, but I'm glad to hear
yeah.
that you like it. A lot of our top drivers do like how it is now, so I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, absolutely, I love it.
So, what are some of the orders that you like to take in your area that you'll just always accept? Like you see this order pop up, and you're like, "Of course, I'm taking this one."
Any paint order, I'm all over it. So any PPG, Sherwin Williams, I'm all over that. That's one of my favorites, actually, to be honest. And I'm gonna tell you why. I like those because I know other drivers don't like them, and I'm not trying to talk down on anybody, or I'm just saying this is through experience.
Hmm.
I've like literally seen drivers. I don't even know if I should say this, but is it safe to say it? I don't know, but I've seen drivers that you know, get to the order, get to the pickup, and because they have to work a little bit to load their vehicle, they don't want it no more.
Hmm.
And I end up getting taken the order thanks to that. And I'm like, really? Like you couldn't load, you know, like I don't know, man. I don't want to say too much, but I
No, yeah,
love those orders.
that definitely
Yeah,
happens.
I love those orders because I feel like the amount of work that I have to do and with the pay that comes with it is like it's based from the job I came from, making $20 an hour for hard labor, to be able to make, X amount of money to work for 10 minutes, and just safely drive it from A to B, unload it, a 20-minute job, and the pay I'm all over those. I love to see PPG, Sherwin Williams. I'll be there. I'll fill my van to the brim with those.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Those two. Um, Trying to think of what else. Pretty much anything that's no touch freight. I think everybody loves those. But any
Hmm.
type of forklift load, forklift at the pickup and the drop off,
Yeah,
those are golden.
easy money right
um, yeah, those are easy. But yeah, I think the most active in my area is the paint orders. Like that's the biggest paying ones. Everything else is I can't think of anything else like cargo van load type
there.
stuff in my area.
Okay.
No other company. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, the paint orders, that's good to know.
Oh, I love
So how did you find out about Dispatch?
it. YouTube. Yeah,
Okay.
YouTube. I was actually watching. I actually didn't know about gig apps. So when I first started, when I first bought my van, I bought my van to do OTR. That's what I had got all the certification to do OTR. That's all
Mhm.
I knew. I didn't know anything else.
Sure.
And I knew about getting a contract, getting a dedicated contract or doing OTR. And then I came across a YouTube channel of someone that was doing all gig apps in a cargo van, and that just totally changed the game right there.
Mm.
So that's how I learned about Dispatch, and I started researching what companies were in my market, and Dispatch was the very first company that I started with, and I think that's kind of like my earlier videos. I was doing a lot of dispatch orders, and I loved it. Yeah, it
Good,
was on fire.
good. I'm glad it's that we lived up to the expectations.
Oh, absolutely. It was my main source. It was killing. All the other apps was killing me.
Okay. So what have you liked about working with Dispatch? Like, what specifically are the things that you enjoy about Dispatch?
I like well the process was easy. It was easy process. The application process was nice and smooth. And then like I said, the app has been great. I know there's been a couple changes throughout the year, but every time you change, everyone complains, but then you just get used to the new one. So that's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
I like it how it is right now. I don't know if there's any changes coming, but I'm cool with whatever.
Hmm.
But the app has always been great. The pay once a week, it's always on time. Never had an issue with pay. Um, I like the customer support. I've never had an issue other than cancellation every now and then. There's misunderstanding, but nothing like really bad. I think for the most part, I've always kind of rated Dispatch at the top of the gig apps. The thing that kind of brought them down was the pay.
Hmm.
I felt that the pay was really good at one point, and then it just kind of went down. And I couldn't figure out why. Everyone's trying to figure out like why is the pay so low?
Hmm.
And you actually helped answer a lot of those questions. And I don't know, it's just I think when a lot of drivers don't understand the other side, we just kind of focus on, as a driver, I want to make this much money, but it's a process to get you paid. And a lot of
Hmm.
people don't pay attention to the business, the other side, and what's going on. So I've been maturing and learning, you know, through my experience how that worked. And that's one of the main reasons I got on other apps because when I first started with Dispatch, like this, I was making enough money. I didn't need to work for any other app.
Hmm.
But I noticed when the pay started dipping a little bit, that's when I started getting on other apps to kind of supplement that income. So, um, but other than that, I mean, I really have no complaints. It was just the pay up and down, but other than that, there are some times where it's slow. It'll be slow, and then some days it's on fire, and um, not a lot to complain about though. I
Yeah.
really was the question how much I like it, right? What
Yep.
I like
Yep.
about it. Okay,
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, I not a lot to complain about. I like everything about Dispatch. One of my favorites.
Good. Good. So what are the some of the things that in your eyes, in your opinion, Dispatch can improve?
Um, I don't know if you could really improve it. It's just, I mean, because like I said, I can only speak from my area. Dispatch is huge. They're in like every state, so I know it's gonna be different everywhere. Um, I don't know if there's a dedicated person for certain areas and all that stuff. I don't know how that works, but um, I would say, and this is just my opinion, if the most important thing I'm interested in is getting consistent work. And if you have a consistent driver, so you have consistent work with consistent drivers that are available and trustworthy, maybe create an opportunity for them to get more consistent work.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's possible, but and I wouldn't even say that needs improvement because I know you guys do what you can, but I wouldn't. So I guess I wouldn't look at it as an improvement. I guess an addition.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, other than that, I mean, so the you did talk. I know we talked about the time restraints. That's something that a lot of people complain about, but I
Hmm.
understand it. It makes sense, and I don't even know if that's something that can be improved because the time restraints kind of hinders drivers from, not only taking multiple orders, but if I got one order with dispatch, and I have to be at this time and deliver at this time, but then I have another opportunity with another company at around the same time. It's like, oh man, I'm kind of in limbo.
Mhm.
If it wasn't for the time restraint, I could do both.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't know if that's something that could be changed or whatever. I understand the time restraint. So um, really, I mean, that's it. There's really no other complaints for me personally. Um,
Great. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, with the time restraint. Sorry to cut you off. Where you
no, you good.
okay? With the time restraints thing, yeah. So you know, different orders have different speeds of service needed. So a lot of our orders that come in through dispatch are placed for as soon as possible, and so we don't have a lot of wiggle room with that. And I know that a lot of drivers have been a little bit frustrated with that part of it, but that's kind of the point of our business is on demand final mile delivery. And so with that, a lot of customers are going to place as soon as possible orders. And so that's just kind of the nature of our business and dispatch just in general. So um, I know a lot of drivers do use multiple apps. There's no way for us to really like help drivers with being able to manage being on our app and other apps, but what we can do is help you manage between orders that all are on our app. So that's what we
Right.
can focus on and improve on. Is allowing drivers more of that leeway when it comes to traffic that might be unexpected or unexpected things that pick up or drop off, and just accounting for that time so you guys aren't getting dinged for certain things as far as your drop off percentages are concerned. So those are the things that we kind of look at to improve the experience for the drivers.
Got you. Yeah,
Yes.
actually, I'm sorry. I wanted to add. I know you asked the things I like. I just thought about this because I did a job a couple days ago
Yeah.
where I had no internet service and I was able to do the job offline, which that's a huge improvement. I just wanted to mention that because I got to deal with it firsthand, and it's very frustrating before when you could not complete this. You have no reception, you couldn't take a picture, nothing. So I did want to say thumbs up to that. I like that. I was able to take the photo, get the job done, and once I got reception, I was able to clear it, and that works perfect. Appreciate it. But
Great.
I
Great.
wasn't able to call. I wasn't able to call the customer or nothing.
Mhm.
So, but obviously I didn't have no service. So,
Right, and
yep.
that's great. You did exactly what you're supposed to do, and yeah, that's a change that we made in like October, November. So I'm glad that you got to see that in real time, and it
Oh
worked out.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's great. So would you recommend driving with dispatch to the people that you know? I know we send out this question in our app periodically, but just wanted to get it here. Would you recommend driving with dispatch to people you know?
Oh, absolutely. For all size vehicles too. Car, pickup truck, SUV, cargo van. Not well. I can only speak for my market.
Sure.
Not so much cargo van because if somebody in my market, if you new to dispatch and you have a cargo van, you might not get too much work. So, but y'all really it's up to the driver. You have to study your area, and then but yeah, absolutely. I would recommend. I'm not just saying that. Like I truly believe that Dispatch is one of the best apps. They do a great job of getting us work, and you know, um, I have very little complaints. The pay's been great. Actually, this is kind of a spoiler because on my channel I'm about to share kind of my earnings because
Mhm.
this is my first time doing taxes. But Dispatch was on number one for earnings among the other apps. That's a spoiler alert right there.
That's what we love to hear.
Yeah. Man, they was on top, way above everybody else.
All right. That's
Yeah.
great information to hear. So in your opinion, how have the dispatch orders compared to the other gig apps that you've used?
As far as pay or just the way we get them, or
Well, just in general,
everything. Oh, in
what's
general.
the yeah, what's kind of the differences or what you like compared to the other gig apps and that kind of thing.
So I'm gonna tell you, and this is my honest truth.
Yeah.
Compared to all the other, I'm on about at least 10 apps, and out of all of them, when my phone goes off and it said has that little D, and I pull the drop down and I see it's dispatch, I get excited. I ain't gonna lie, and I'm not just saying, I really do, because I'm like, man, and especially when it's, you pull it down and it's like it's directly to me. It's got 45 seconds. I look at the pay and I'm looking at the mile like, man, I'm about to make some money today. And like I love that. Like,
Yeah.
it I get excited. I ain't gonna lie when I get a dispatch order. The other apps, and I'm gonna name them because I don't. There's one of them particular I just cannot stand. It. It's Freight. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Hmm.
Freight is by far one of the worst as far as getting an order. Like it's so frustrating. They alert you and you click on it, and there's nothing there, and that happens all day. I don't understand it. Very frustrating. Some of the other apps, um, they're decent, but no, I have to say none of them really compare to this. Like just the way you get the order, the way it comes out, um, the process. You know, navigate to the pickup. Everything's there. You click on navigate to the pickup. I love how, you guys have the timer. So you don't want us there for 30 minutes to do a pickup. So, it starts charging if you're there for more than 15 minutes. I like that feature. We have contact information, the drop off phone number, a name, just the whole process. Really easy. Like my 8-year-old son could run that app, like it's
Hmm.
really easy. So I have to appreciate that. I'd say compared to other apps, it's definitely one of the best.
Great. And our product and engineering team will love to hear that that it's easy to use and an 8-year old can use it. Like that's like the best type of compliment that they can receive. So
Oh, that's cool. And
that's
I'm not
very
just saying it too. I'm like dead serious. Like if I didn't like it, I'll tell you. I'm not afraid to say it, but
cool.
I love Dispatch app. It's one of the best. I've always said that.
Great. Um, so what would you say to the drivers out there who are on the fence about giving dispatch a try?
If they're on the fence, I'm assuming maybe their market is slow. I do know a couple drivers where they live in an area, they've been on it, and they just don't get nothing. So
Yep.
I understand that. But really, I mean, I don't think I would say um, like how if they really want to get on the app and try it out. I'm telling you, it's one of the best. So me personally, if I was in that situation, I would be trying to reach out to all the businesses in my area to get work, because that's the only way you're gonna get work. You can't, if I don't know, it's just if you I don't know, I'm trying to answer the question. If you're on the fence about it, it's either you go all in or just don't touch it. But I'm assuming anybody that's on the fence about it would be because of the amount of work. There's not enough work. That's the only thing I could think of because, like I said, the app is one of the best. The pay is among the top compared to others. So I don't see why anyone would be on the fence other than it's just slow in their area and that's what they heard.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, get on because you never know when they expand to your area and they might fill up and then you miss your chance to get on. So I would never not recommend this, but I would say get on. Get
Yeah.
on, even if it's yeah, if it's not, if it's slow, just get on anywhere, just to be ready, just in case.
Yeah. So yeah, just the last couple of questions here. So do you have any regrets or lessons you've learned in your gig driver experience?
Definitely no regrets. Well, I guess in general, the only regret I have in general, not, I mean, it pertains to gig apps too, but I should have never even went through the process of trying to do OTR because I did not. like it from the start. Mentally, I just didn't want to do it. I didn't like it, and I wasted a lot of money. I paid for probably about 8 months of insurance that I didn't need. I never
Mm,
used it. I threw a lot of money away. Um, and Yeah, that's probably one of my biggest regrets. But that's I'm glad I went through it because people were able to see my journey and see that process and see how I ended up, I just deactivated my authority and I lowered my insurance down, so now I'm really profiting a lot better. Um, but Yeah, as far as the gig apps, no regrets. No regrets. Um, what was the other part of the question?
any
Any regrets
lessons
or
learned? Yeah.
lessons learned? Yeah. Oh, so I would say definitely you got to speak up. Um, and this is more pertaining to other apps, but um, I think me and a lot of drivers will feel or might understand what I'm saying. Sometimes we feel like we're taken advantage of,
Mm,
and if you don't speak up, the company's gonna, just keep doing what they do. So I always speak up. If I'm whether it's, the app says one thing, but you end up doing something else, like you need to be compensated for that and stuff like that. Some people just let stuff go. I don't do that. You got to speak up. So that's something I learned over time. And Other than that, that's pretty much it. I mean, all the whole local gig work for me has been great, great experience. Other than the slow, I'm actually in the slow time right now. Um, but um, it's I don't know if I should share this. I don't know if I should share this now or later, but I do. Like I said, I think I was telling you that I had some advice for.
yeah.
Did you have a question about that, or you want me?
My last question is just any final things you'd like to say.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Um, yeah, because I mean, I'm just saying it while it's on my mind, but
Yeah, go for it.
I'm in a slow time right now, and I always stress on my channel that you gotta have a plan B. Like you cannot do gig work and just do gig work. Maybe there might be some lucky areas where people are just busy all day, every day, but I don't know too many places like that. And people on my channel have been sharing like, man, it's slow here, slow here. So I always stress having a plan B, and that's very important. And my plan B is literally I go back to what I started doing. I'll get in my car, I have a nice little 2013 Chevy Sonic, and I'll go do food orders. And one thing I noticed, there's no slow times with that. Like it's all year round. People do not cook in my area. They love eating out, and I am on fire. I like working at night, and I can make $200 every night doing food orders. And that's my plan B. So when the cargo van is not making no money, I get in my car and I go make the money I need. So that's definitely gotta have a plan B, whatever it is.
All right. Well, that's great feedback, and so I want to thank you, Chris, for agreeing to do this, and I came on your channel as well, so drivers will be able to check that out once that's posted, and um, yeah, I hope you continue to enjoy using Dispatch. I enjoyed this conversation.
Oh, same here. I appreciate you having me. I'm like so honored. I was actually like really shocked to get an email from you. I thought it was a scam at first. Like, who was this scamming me? But no, man, I appreciate it, and man, I'm just I love this journey. I love everything that's going on, and I hope this information helps who everyone out there. It's going to help somebody, but it's great to be able for a driver to be able to talk to the business and get that information because these are questions that I've had,
Mhm.
and I'm sure the same feedback that you guys want from a driver, and I'm honored. I appreciate it, and it shows that you guys really do care. Thank you for that.
Yeah, we definitely care, and for you, keep up the great work in your market. You're one of the top drivers in that market, so we appreciate all your hard work, and yeah, we'll stay in touch. You have a great
All
day.
right, thanks a lot. Yes, sir. You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.